Good afternoon, people in the audience. Okay, this is the Berkeley All-County Jazz Band standing behind me. But first, I just want to congratulate all the students that have performed here this weekend at the first annual Charleston JPA site. Round of applause to all those students that have performed today and yesterday. I just want to say that I'm definitely a proud alumnus of this university, and being able to have Professor Mark Sterbank not only join us on stage, but allow me to have this site, be able to have jazz here back in Charleston. I think this is something that's not only a milestone for the SCBDA, but it's a milestone for education, a milestone for children, and a milestone for jazz. I am very grateful to Professor Mark Sterbank and Dr. Holland and Dr. Forster for allowing us to have this really beautiful, wonderful space to perform in this weekend. So I am eternally grateful. Thank you. I appreciate it. But as I was saying earlier, this is the Berkeley All-County Jazz Band, and so this band is comprised of the top jazz students in all of Berkeley County. Standing behind me, raise your hand if you have ever played or this year you played in the All-State Jazz Band. If you've been in the All-State Jazz Band, whether this year or last year. A lot of awesome students, and this couldn't have been done without the what I would call the figurehead of jazz in the state of South Carolina. This beautiful man sitting on the other side of the stage. His name is Ronnie Ward. I like to call him the Godfather of jazz. Help me, we should say the Crystal Ward in the Berkeley All-County Jazz Band.
I get to take the night and say things about Mr. Hernandez. We are very happy to be on the campus of CSU, and we're very happy that we have 4 days of JBA in our state now. And so I had Mr. Hernandez as my student teacher, and it's been a pleasure to watch him grow as a young musician, young educator, and now band director at Cane Bane with Dr. Westbury. And so without further ado, we're gonna even further hopefully amaze you. Well, definitely you'll be amazed when you hear Professor Mark Sterbank play. I have had the privilege of listening to him for over 25 years, and I've always enjoyed it. And I think we're all fixing to get a little bit of joy on Stevie Wonder's Overjoyed. So without further ado, Mr. Hernandez and Professor Sterbank.
song. I just want to humble brag because that's my teacher behind me. So that has been 4 years with Professor Mark Sterbank. And then outside of that, I've had the opportunity to get with him professionally, do clinics together. God has blessed me a lot, and I'm very grateful for you being in my life. And can't wait for many more endeavors with one another. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to just go on with the next song. It's going to be
do we have any administrators, district officials, any of those people in the audience? I know I've seen principals, superintendents. Where are you? Some of them don't want to be seen or heard or whatever, but anyway, we appreciate you being here. I appreciate what Berkeley County has done for me for the past 28 years. And this group started 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, and the judge that sits back there and the young man that's doctor on base now, I remember him when he was like this tall, and he was in the first ever all-county jazz band, and was part of the main reason it ever got started. And so we brought an alumnus in, and our bass player said, sure, he can sit in. So we're gonna have an alumnus of the all-county jazz band. We also have JK, who was a student here at Charleston Southern, thank you. And what year are you, JK? He's a junior, so he was with us 4 years ago, and you were with us all 4 years too, is that correct? So we have two alumnus sitting in with us today, and this is in a mellow tone, a little elegant.
talk about this next piece really briefly. Listen, I'm not going to give a historical context or anything about this piece. I just want to tell you that I got to perform this when I was here at Charleston Southern, and all the things and complaints that the kids have said about this being a really hard piece is the same things I used to say to Professor Sterbank. And he would say, well, in your terms, won't, oh well. But this is an awesome chart. The kids have enjoyed it and loved it, and my favorite thing is to say, Mr. Hernandez, I actually had practices. Like, that's awesome. I'm glad y'all practicing. So here's Blues and the Abstract Truth, Oliver Nelson. we want to thank y'all again for coming and watching the Berkeley All-County Jazz Band Performance Award. This is the final song, which is Mud Bug Strut. I just want to remind you that after this, we are going to have an improv clinic, which will be led by Professor Mark Sterbank. So you should 100% stick around and watch and listen to all the good education I can give all these wonderful children here. Thank you again. And this is Mud Bug Strut, and this is Mr. Ronnie Ward.
How about one more hand for Johnny Hernandez? He organized the whole day. And how about a hand for CSU? Thank you, CSU. How many of you have ever been to New Orleans? Raise your hands if you've been to New Orleans. Mr. Hernandez and myself got a chance to go down there with Mr. Priest 2 years ago. And we learned what Bourbon Street's all about. It's a party, and we're going to try to have one for you right now. This is the Mud Bug Strut.
Thank you. Just stick around for just a moment, and Professor Sterbank will start the Game 5 clinic as soon as we get everything reset. Thank you.